You might be doing everything you think you are supposed to do. You run more, you eat less, you push harder in your workouts. But somehow, that belly fat still does not move. And that can feel frustrating. Because from the outside, it looks simple. Burn more calories, eat fewer calories, and the fat should come off. That is what most of us were told. But the body is not always that simple. The problem may not be your willpower. It may not even be your workout plan. The real issue could be the small things you repeat every single day without thinking about them. What you do right after meals. How long you sit without moving. How late you eat. How much light you get at night. How your body handles stress before you even go to bed. These small patterns send signals to your metabolism all day long, and over time, those signals can tell your body to store more fat around the organs, especially deep inside the belly. That kind of fat is called visceral fat, and it is not just about how your stomach looks in the mirror. It sits deeper, around important organs, and it responds strongly to hormones like insulin and cortisol. So if you have been trying harder and harder, but nothing seems to change, this video may help you look at the problem differently. Because staying lean may not be about forcing your body harder. It may be about finally giving your body the right signals again. In this video, we are going to look at 5 ancient habits that helped people stay lean long before gyms, fitness apps, meal plans, or calorie trackers existed. These were not fancy routines. They were not extreme diets, and they did not require special equipment. They were simple daily patterns. People moved after eating. They carried things. They had natural gaps between meals. They slept in real darkness. And they moved throughout the day instead of sitting for hours without a break. At first, these habits may sound too simple to matter, but that is exactly why most people overlook them. The body does not only respond to one hard workout, it responds to what you do again and again, from morning until night. That is where these ancient habits become powerful. They can help support better blood sugar control, lower insulin spikes, steadier energy, better sleep, and a healthier rhythm for the hormones that affect belly fat. And habit number 4 may surprise you the most, because it has nothing to do with food. It has nothing to do with exercise, but it can still affect the hormones that make your body more likely to store fat around the belly. So stay with me, because once you understand these 5 habits, you may realize that the real secret was never about doing more. It was about living in a way your body actually understands. Before we get into the habits, let me say this clearly. This video is for education only. It is not medical advice. It is not meant to replace your doctor, your medication, or any treatment plan you already have. Everybody's body is different. Some people have blood sugar issues. Some have heart problems. Some are taking medication that changes how their body responds to food, sleep, exercise, or fasting. So if you have diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, sleep problems, or any other health condition, please talk with a qualified healthcare professional before making big changes to your routine. The goal here is not to scare you, and it is not to tell you to do anything extreme. The goal is simple, to help you understand how your body works so you can make better daily choices with more confidence. And if you enjoy clear, simple explanations about hidden organs, hormones, metabolism, and the quiet signals your body sends every day, make sure to subscribe to Hidden Organ Secrets. On this channel, we break down what is happening inside the body in a way that is practical, honest, and easy to use in real life. Now, let's talk about why visceral fat is so different from the fat you can see under the skin. When most people think about body fat, they think about the soft fat they can pinch under the skin. That kind of fat is called subcutaneous fat. It sits right under the skin. You may notice it around the belly, arms, hips, thighs, or back. And yes, having too much of it can affect health over time. But it is not the type of fat doctors worry about the most. The more dangerous kind is visceral fat. Visceral fat sits much deeper inside the belly. You cannot always see it clearly from the outside. A person may not look extremely overweight, but still carry too much fat around the organs. That is what makes it sneaky. This fat wraps around important organs like the liver, pancreas, and intestines. And it does not just sit there like storage. It can act almost like an active organ inside the body. It can send out inflammatory signals. It can affect how your body handles blood sugar. It can make your cells respond poorly to insulin. And over time, that can put more stress on your metabolism. This is why visceral fat is linked with insulin resistance, higher blood sugar, fatty liver, heart problems, and metabolic syndrome. And here is the part many people miss. Visceral fat is not only about how many calories you eat, it is also about the signals your body gets every day. When insulin stays high too often, your body becomes more likely to store energy. When stress is always high, cortisol can push the body toward belly fat storage. When sleep is poor, hunger and fullness signals can get thrown off. So the real question is not just, how do I burn more calories? A better question is, what signals am I giving my body all day long? Because visceral fat responds to patterns. It responds to when you eat, how often you move, how well you sleep, how much stress your body is carrying. And once you understand that, the 5 habits we are about to cover start to make a lot more sense. This is where a lot of people get stuck. They think, if I just work out harder, the belly fat has to go away. So they run more, they lift heavier, they push through harder workouts. And yes, exercise matters. It is good for your heart, your muscles, your blood sugar, and your overall health. But your body is not only paying attention to the 30 minutes you spend working out, it is paying attention to the whole day. What time you eat, how often you snack, how many hours you sit, how well you sleep, how stressed you feel, how often your muscles actually move. All of those things send signals to your body. So, you might have one strong workout in the morning, but then sit for the next 10 hours. You might burn calories at the gym, but snack all day and keep insulin high. You might exercise hard, but sleep poorly and wake up with stress hormones already elevated. That is why belly fat can feel so stubborn. It is not always because you are lazy, and it is not always because your workout is not hard enough. Sometimes your body is simply getting the wrong signals for too many hours of the day. Constant snacking can keep insulin higher than it needs to be. And when insulin stays high, the body is more likely to store energy instead of using it. Poor sleep can raise cortisol. That is one of the main stress hormones. When cortisol stays high too often, the body may become more likely to hold fat around the belly. Long hours of sitting are another problem. When your muscles are not moving, they are not using much glucose from the blood. That makes it harder for the body to stay metabolically flexible. And then there is stress. Not the kind of stress that happens once in a while. I mean the kind that follows you all day. Bills, work, family pressure, bad sleep, too much noise, too much rushing. When stress stays high, the body can shift into a more defensive mode. It starts acting like it needs to save energy, not spend it. So the real lesson is simple. A hard workout can help, but it cannot erase an entire day of poor signals. If you want belly fat to finally respond, you have to look beyond the workout. You have to look at the rhythm of your day. The first habit is simple. Walk after you eat. Not a hard workout. Not a fast walk. Not something that makes you sweat. Just a short, easy walk after a meal. And honestly, this is one of those habits that sounds too small to matter, but inside the body, it can make a real difference. Here is what happens after you eat. Your body breaks food down, especially carbohydrates, into glucose. That glucose moves into your bloodstream. Then, your pancreas releases insulin to help move that glucose into your cells, where it can be used for energy or stored for later. That is normal. The problem starts when you finish eating and sit down right away. Maybe you eat breakfast, then sit at your desk. Maybe you eat lunch, then go back to your chair. Maybe you eat dinner, then sit on the couch for the rest of the night. When your muscles are not moving, they do not need much energy. So the glucose from that meal can stay higher in the blood for longer. Your body may need more insulin to deal with it. And when this pattern happens again and again, it can create the kind of environment where fat storage becomes easier, especially around the belly. But walking after a meal changes that signal. When you walk, your leg muscles start contracting. they begin using energy. And those working muscles can pull glucose from the bloodstream more efficiently. That means your body does not have to work as hard to handle the rise in blood sugar after eating. This is why even a 10-minute walk can be helpful. You do not need to walk miles. You do not need to change clothes. You do not need a gym. You do not even need to call it exercise. Just move. After breakfast, walk around the block. After lunch, take a slow walk outside. After dinner, walk through the neighborhood, around the house, or even around the living room, if that is all you can do. The goal is not speed. The goal is to avoid going completely still right after eating. Think of it like giving your body a little help at the exact moment it needs it most. Instead of letting glucose rise while your muscles are asleep, you wake those muscles up. You give them a job. And over time, that small habit can help support steadier blood sugar, better insulin response, and a healthier metabolism. This is not about burning a huge number of calories. It is about sending the right signal. Food just came in. Energy is available. Now the body has somewhere useful to send it. That is why walking after meals is one of the easiest ancient habits to bring back into modern life. Now, this does not mean hard exercise is bad. Hard workouts can be great. They can build strength, improve heart health, support blood sugar, and help you feel more capable in your own body. But there is something people do not talk about enough. If your body is already under a lot of stress, pushing harder is not always the answer. Maybe you are sleeping poorly. Maybe your job is stressful. Maybe your nervous system feels like it never really shuts off. Maybe you wake up tired, drink coffee to get through the day, and then try to force yourself through a hard workout at night. In that situation, more intensity can sometimes leave you feeling even more drained. That is why walking after meals is so useful. It does not beat up your body. It does not demand recovery like a hard workout. It does not spike stress the same way. It is gentle, but it still gives your metabolism a clear signal. Your muscles start moving. Your blood sugar has somewhere to go. Your nervous system can calm down a little. Your body gets support without feeling attacked. And that is a big deal. Because sometimes the habit that changes your body is not the workout that leaves you exhausted. Sometimes it is the small thing you do every day right after you eat, when your body needs that signal the most. A short walk may not look impressive, but done consistently, it can become one of the most powerful habits in your day. The second ancient habit is lifting and carrying. And no, I do not mean you have to join a gym or start training like an athlete. Long before gyms existed, people were using their muscles all day. They carried water, they lifted wood, they moved stones, they pulled tools, they dug soil, they climbed, pushed, dragged, squatted, and carried things from one place to another. That was normal life. They were not doing it for six-pack abs. They were doing it because daily life required strength. Today, most of that has disappeared. We sit in cars, we sit at desks, we order things to the door. We use machines for almost everything. That may feel convenient, but the body still expects the muscles to work. And when the muscles do not get used often enough, metabolism can suffer. Muscle is not just for looking strong. Muscle is one of the main places where your body handles glucose from food. After you eat, glucose enters the bloodstream. Active muscles can take up that glucose and use it for energy. That helps your body manage blood sugar better and rely less on storing extra energy as fat. This is why maintaining muscle matters so much, especially as we get older. The more your muscles are used, the better your body tends to respond to insulin. And when insulin works better, the body has an easier time moving energy where it belongs. So, how do you bring this habit back? Start small. Carry your own grocery bags if they are not too heavy. Do a few basic squats using a chair for support. Try wall push-ups or gentle push-ups at your level. Lift safe household items with good form. Pull, push, carry, and move in ways your body can handle. The point is not to prove how strong you are. The point is to remind your muscles that they still have a job. You do not need fancy equipment to give your body that signal. You just need regular, safe resistance. A little effort, a little tension, a little strength work built into normal life. Over time, that can help your body become better at using energy, managing blood sugar, and protecting the metabolism that keeps visceral fat from building up so easily. Muscle is one of the biggest reasons your body knows what to do with energy. Think of muscle like an engine. When that engine is active, your body has somewhere to send the fuel from food. Glucose can move out of the bloodstream and into the muscles, where it can be used for movement, repair, and daily energy. That is a good thing. But when your muscles are weak, inactive, or barely used during the day, the body has fewer places to send that energy. So, what happens? More of that extra energy can end up being stored. And for many people, one of the places the body likes to store it is deep around the belly, where visceral fat builds up. This is why muscle matters so much. It is not just about looking toned. It is not just about lifting heavy weights. It is not just about being young or athletic. Muscle helps your metabolism stay awake. When you use your muscles regularly, your body becomes better at handling blood sugar. It becomes more responsive to insulin. It becomes better at using energy instead of just saving it for later. And that can make a real difference over time. The mistake many people make is thinking muscle only matters during a workout. But your muscles are part of your metabolism all day long. When you walk, lift, carry, squat, push, pull, clean the house, take the stairs, or move your own body weight, you are reminding your body that energy has a purpose. You are giving your body a reason to use fuel. And that is the key. If you want your body to store less, you have to give it a reason to use more. Muscle is that reason. The third habit is eating within natural eating windows. Now, this does not mean starving yourself. It does not mean skipping meals just to prove you have discipline. And it does not mean doing some extreme fasting plan that makes you feel miserable. It simply means giving your body a real break from food. Today, food is everywhere. You can eat the moment you wake up. You can snack in the car. You can grab coffee with sugar. You can eat at your desk. You can snack while watching TV. And then, before bed, you might grab one more little thing from the kitchen. It may not feel like a lot in the moment, but to your body, it can mean one long day of digestion. Every time you eat, especially when you eat foods with carbohydrates or sugar, insulin rises. That is normal. Insulin helps move glucose out of the blood and into your cells. The problem is when insulin is being asked to show up all day long. Breakfast, snack. Lunch, snack. Dinner, late-night snack. When that happens, your body spends most of the day in a fed state. It is always handling incoming food. It rarely gets a clean chance to switch over and use stored energy. But the human body was not built around constant eating. For most of human history, people had natural gaps between meals. Food was not sitting in a pantry, a drive-thru, or a delivery app at all hours of the day. There were times of eating, and there were times of not eating. During those gaps, insulin could come down. The body could start using stored glucose from the liver, and over time, it could become better at shifting towards stored fat for energy. That is metabolic flexibility. It means your body can use food when food comes in, but it can also use stored energy when food is not coming in, and that is a healthy rhythm. So how do you bring this back without doing anything extreme? Start with the easiest place. Stop eating late at night. For many people, that alone makes a big difference. Not because late food is magically evil, but because it keeps the body working when it should be winding down. Then, if it feels right for you, try giving your body about 12 hours between dinner and breakfast. For example, if you finish dinner at 7 p.m., you might eat breakfast around 7 a.m. That is not extreme. That is just a normal overnight break. And if you have blood sugar issues, take medications, or have a medical condition, check with your healthcare provider first. Your body may need a different approach. The point is not to suffer. The point is to stop eating just because food is there. Not every craving is real hunger. Sometimes it is boredom. Sometimes it is habit. Sometimes it is stress. Sometimes it is just the couch, the TV, and the kitchen being too close together. So give your body space. Let digestion finish. Let insulin come down. Let your metabolism remember how to use stored energy again. That is what natural eating windows are really about. Another benefit of eating within a natural window is that your hunger signals can start to feel more honest. Because, let's be real, a lot of the time, we are not eating because we are truly hungry. We eat because we are bored, because we are tired, because we are stressed, because the food is right there. Because it is late, the TV is on, and snacking just feels normal. When you snack all day, your body does not get many clear breaks. Hunger and fullness can start to feel confusing. You may think you are hungry, but really, your body is just used to getting food every couple of hours. But when meals are spaced out in a reasonable way, something changes. You start to notice the difference between real hunger and habit hunger. Real hunger builds slowly. It feels steady. It makes normal food sound good. Habit hunger is different. It often shows up suddenly. It usually wants something salty, sweet, crunchy, or easy. And many times, it comes from emotion, not need. So before you grab a snack, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, am I actually hungry, or am I just tired? Am I bored? Am I stressed? Am I eating because it is there? That one question can change a lot. Because once you understand the reason behind the craving, you do not have to obey it every time. You can take a walk, drink water, step away from the kitchen, or simply wait 10 minutes and see if the urge passes. This is not about being strict. It is about learning to hear your body clearly again. The fourth habit may surprise you, because it is not about food. It is not about exercise, and it does not require more willpower. It is sleep. More specifically, sleeping in real darkness. Most people think sleep is just rest. You close your eyes, you recharge, and that is it. But sleep is much deeper than that. Your sleep environment sends signals to your hormones. And those hormones affect hunger, blood sugar, stress, inflammation, and how your body uses energy. For most of human history, night was dark. When the sun went down, the body understood what that meant. It was time to slow down, time to repair, time to shift into recovery mode. But modern life changed that. Now we have bright kitchen lights, TVs, phones, tablets, laptops, streetlights, and little glowing screens everywhere, and the brain does not always know the difference. When bright light hits your eyes late at night, your brain may read that as a daytime signal, even if it is 11 p.m. Even if you feel tired, that can interfere with melatonin. Most people know melatonin as the sleep hormone, but it does more than help you feel sleepy. It is part of your internal clock. It helps your body know when to rest, when to repair, and when to run certain metabolic processes. When melatonin gets thrown off night after night, your whole rhythm can start to drift, sleep gets lighter. Cravings get stronger, stress feels harder to handle, blood sugar can become harder to manage, and the body may become more likely to hold on to energy instead of using it well. That is why a dark bedroom matters more than people think. You do not have to make it complicated. Dim the lights before bed. Put the phone away earlier. Turn off the TV instead of falling asleep with it on. Keep the bedroom cool, quiet, and dark. Try to go to bed around the same time most nights. Small changes here can make sleep feel deeper and more natural. And when sleep improves, the body often handles everything else better. Hunger feels calmer. Energy feels steadier. Stress feels less sharp. And your metabolism gets a better chance to work the way it should. So yes, walking matters. Food matters. Muscle matters. But darkness matters too. Because sometimes the signal your body needs most is not more effort. It is a clear message that the day is over and it is safe to recover. Here is something many people notice, even if they do not always connect the dots. After a bad night of sleep, food feels different. You wake up tired, your energy feels low, your patience is shorter, and suddenly, the foods you normally try to avoid start looking a lot more tempting. Sweet coffee, donuts, chips, cookies, bread, pasta, anything quick, easy, and comforting. That is not just weakness. When you do not sleep enough, your hunger hormones can shift. Ghrelin, the hormone that tells you to eat, can go up. Leptin, the hormone that helps you feel full, can go down. So now your brain is getting the wrong message. It is asking for more food, even when your body may not truly need that much. And it usually does not ask for broccoli or grilled chicken. It wants fast energy, sugar, refined carbs, calorie-dense snacks. At the same time, poor sleep can raise cortisol, one of the main stress hormones. And when cortisol stays high too often, the body may become more likely to store fat around the belly. This is why sleep matters so much for visceral fat. It is not because one bad night will ruin your health. It will not. But when poor sleep becomes your normal routine, month after month, your body can start to change the way it handles hunger, fullness, stress, and energy. You may feel hungrier. You may crave more sugar. You may feel less motivated to move. You may store energy more easily. So if you are trying to fix belly fat but ignoring sleep, you may be fighting your own biology every day. One poor night of sleep will not make you gain fat overnight. But months of poor sleep can change how your body feels hunger, how it stores energy, and how well it uses the fuel you give it. The fifth habit is simple, but most people have lost it. Move throughout the day. Not just during a workout. Not just for 30 minutes in the morning. Not only when your watch tells you to stand up. Just move more often. For most of human history, people did not sit still for 8, 9, or 10 hours a day. Life did not work that way. They walked, they carried things, they bent down, they climbed, they gathered food, they fixed things, they moved from place to place. Movement was spread across the whole day. Today, we do the opposite. We sit in the car, we sit at work, we sit during meals, we sit on the couch. Then we wonder why one workout does not fix everything. And to be fair, a 30-minute workout is still good. It matters. It helps your heart, your muscles, your mood, and your blood sugar. But it cannot fully erase 10 hours of sitting still. Your body pays attention to frequency, not just intensity. That is where NEAT comes in. NEAT stands for Non-Exercise Activity Thermogenesis. That sounds complicated, but it just means the energy your body uses for all the little movements that are not formal exercise. Standing up, walking around the house, taking the stairs, cleaning the kitchen, doing laundry, stretching your back, changing positions, walking while you talk on the phone. Each one seems small, but together, they can add up. And more importantly, they keep your muscles from going quiet for too long. When you sit for hours, your muscles are barely helping with blood sugar. Circulation slows down. Your body uses less energy. Your metabolism does not get many signals to stay active. But when you break up sitting, even for a few minutes, you wake the system back up. You do not need a perfect plan. Stand up every 30 to 60 minutes. Walk around the room. Stretch your hips. Take the stairs when you can. Park a little farther away. Walk while you are on a phone call. Do a few light chores instead of sitting through another hour of TV. None of this looks dramatic, but that is the point. Your body was never meant to stay frozen all day and then be punished with one hard workout. It was meant to move often, a little here, a little there, all day long. That steady background movement is one of the simplest ways to support better blood sugar, better energy use, and a healthier metabolism. So do not only ask, "Did I work out today?" Ask, "How long did I sit without moving?" That question may matter more than you think. Small movements may not look like much. Standing up, walking to the kitchen, stretching your legs, taking the stairs, moving around while you talk on the phone. None of that feels like exercise, but your body still counts it. Every time your muscles contract, they use energy. They pull more glucose from the blood. They help circulation move a little better. They remind your metabolism that the body is active, not shut down, and that matters. Because when you sit for hours without moving, your muscles go quiet. They are not asking for much fuel. They are not helping much with blood sugar. Your body starts acting like it needs to conserve energy instead of use it. But when you move often, even lightly, you keep sending a different message. Use energy, move blood, wake up the muscles, keep the system active. That is why these little actions can add up over a whole day. One short walk may not change everything. One stretch may not burn much. One trip up the stairs may not feel important. But repeated again and again, these moments create a rhythm your body understands. You are not trying to punish yourself with movement. You are just keeping your body from going still for too long. And that is the real point. Your body does not only ask, "Did you work out today?" It also asks, "Did you let me sit still for too many hours?" That question may be one of the hidden keys to better energy, better blood sugar, and less fat storage over time. So when you put all 5 habits together, the message is pretty clear. You do not have to chase extreme routines to support your metabolism. You do not have to punish yourself with workouts you hate. You do not have to starve. You do not have to make your life complicated. The body usually responds better to steady signals. Walking after meals helps your body handle blood sugar instead of letting glucose sit around while you stay still. Lifting and carrying things gives your muscles a reason to stay active, strong, and useful. Eating within natural windows gives insulin time to come down, so your body can remember how to use stored energy again. Sleeping in darkness helps your hormones settle into a better rhythm, especially the ones tied to hunger, stress, and recovery. And light movement throughout the day keeps your body from falling into that long, sluggish state that comes from sitting too much. None of these habits are flashy, but that may be why they work so well. They fit the way the human body was designed to live. A little movement after food, a little strength in daily life, a real break from eating, real darkness at night, and steady motion during the day. Fat loss is not always about forcing the body to do more. Sometimes it is about bringing the body back to the rhythm it understands best. So here is the big takeaway. Your body is always listening, not just to your workouts, not just to your calories, not just to what you do once in a while. It is listening to the small things you repeat every day. How you move after meals, how often you use your muscles, how late you eat, how dark your room is at night, how long you sit without moving. Those habits may look small from the outside, but inside the body, they send real signals. And over time, those signals can shape your blood sugar, your hormones, your energy, and even the way your body stores fat. So do not feel like you have to change everything at once. Start with one habit. Take a short walk after dinner. Turn off the screen a little earlier. Stand up more often during the day. Carry your groceries. Stop eating when you are not really hungry. Small changes are easier to keep, and the changes you keep are the ones that matter. If this video helped you see your body in a new way, make sure to subscribe to Hidden Organ Secrets. On this channel, we talk about the quiet things happening inside the body that can have a big impact on your health, energy, and longevity. And before you go, leave a comment below. Which of these 5 habits do you want to try first? Walking after meals? Sleeping in darkness? Eating within a natural window? Using your muscles more? Or simply standing up more during the day? Thank you for watching. Take care of your body, listen to the signals, and I will see you in the next video.